So I recently finished watching Academy Award winning 2022 movie Triangle of Sadness, and there has been this interesting exchange of dialogue that caught my attention, which goes on like,
Well, when it comes to you and me, we're dealing with roles that I hate. I mean, I don't want to be the man whilst you're the woman. I want us to
it made
be
me
best
wonder,
friends.
it is a question of chivalry or insistence upon role of pursuer on someone biologically male and the pursued on someone biologically female in heterosexual relationship. Don't take me wrong, I don't agree that paying for food makes you ultimately a patriarch or gender role follower, but the question of the psychological pressure to mold yourself into someone you think the other person would desire on the basis of cultural blueprint is what I'm getting at. A movie that portrays romance between two people as people very beautifully in Bollywood would be Hasi to Phasee. Ironically, the name doesn't do justice to the movie. In a time where most of the romantic movies were still catered around our romantic lover following his love interest, coming of age, Hasi to Phasi was fresh breath of story. That wasn't solely focused on our cute struggling male lead Nikhil Bhardwaj, played by Siddharth Malhotra, pursuing our quirky, geek, ambitious, and very beautiful Meeta, played by another phenomenal actor, Pariniti Chopra. Rather, it is a story of how they both fall in love with each other, despite failing to fit standards for being a typical man and typical woman in society. How they both find safe space in each other to express without inhibitions of how we are supposed to be. Siddharth Malhotra as Nikhil Bhardwaj encapsulates growing anxiety of being a responsible man in society where he has to prove his worth to his fiancée Karishma and her family before marriage. While sudden return of his fiancee's sister Meeta, aka Pariniti Chopra, whom he encountered years ago, throw them all in uncharted waters as he gets to know Meeta better. The movie also kinds of shed light on theme of right person, wrong time, which I am still pondering upon. An ironical comment on time could be inferred from how Nikhil come more closer to Meeta in 7 days than Karishma in 7 years. The movie doesn't shy away from showing both of our characters as struggling, but also dares to show us the change in dynamics of relationship. Not only we see Nikhil rooting for Meeta, but also we see Meeta rooting for him simultaneously. We see her desiring him more obviously, which was uncommon for mainstream Bollywood movie to showcase at that time. One cannot forget the soulful melodies that accompany their encounters. One critic noted, what makes Hasi to Phasi unique is the character arc of its two leads. Each moment is made touching, especially when paired with music. Pariniti Chopra's character Meeta has been noted for being a different female lead in Bollywood. Another critic noted that Hasi to Phasi is that rare film that allows you to know the two people you are investing in, and the closer you get, the more they win you over. Usually, the most desired woman, but the characteristically beautiful women, it is not to be said that those beautiful women have no personality and that beauty is at any fault here whatsoever. What I want to address here is it that the construct of desire was limited to what is seen on outside in popular media and also that too was modified into singular form of beauty. This beautiful essay on beauty titled Dogs, Cats and Dancer by Ursula K. Le Guin captures this essence of story. She goes on to say, dogs don't know what they look like. Dogs even don't know what size they are. Cats know exactly where they begin and end. When they walk slowly out of the door that you are holding open for them and pause, leaving their tail just an inch or two inside the door. They know it. They know you have to keep holding the door open. That is why the tail is there. A lot of us humans are like dogs. We really don't know what size we are. At the other extreme, people who have the most accurate, vivid sense of their appearance must be dancers. What the dancers look like is, after all, what they do. We are like dogs. We don't know where we begin and end. In space, yes. In time, no. Who I am is certainly a part of how I look and vice versa. But I want to know where I begin and end. But all the same, there is something about me that doesn't change, has not changed through all remarkable, exciting changes my body has gone through. What Ursula K. Le Guin was getting at, that not only what we see is what makes us, but also our story, our beginning, our end. And what a lot of media reinforces is the idea of single form of desire, of either being a lover or the beloved. In the book Why We Marry Wrong Person by School of Life, they goes on to mention all of us are crazy in very particular ways. We are distinctively neurotic, unbalanced, and immature, but don't know quite the details because no one ever encourages us too hard to find them out. A good partnership is not so much one between two healthy people. There aren't many of these on the planet. It is the one between two demented people who have had the skill or luck to find a non threatening accommodation between their relative insanities. What stand out for me is not just distinct form of storyline in the movie, but also a submersive approach for building intimacy, where not only there has been this weird attraction between our lead characters, Nikhil and Meeta, but also slowly building deeper connection that forms throughout the movie by sharing each other's stories. It is important part of writing romance to show not only who we are, but also why we are the way we are. We are shown how Meeta have been a black sheep in her family for being ambitious and nerd, whereas Nikhil have been different from his older brother by being more mischievous and a bit carefree. We clearly see how they both are more free to be and express themselves with each other company rather than strictly being an idea of socially constructed, unlimited men and women in love. We clearly see both being childlike and sometimes both being adult in a relationship. Their dynamics is more fluid than rigid. The pursuer and the pursued are both interchangeable in both Meeta and Nikhil. Sylvia Plath once mentions that being an artist means being more androgynous, more whole. And for author From, who mentions love being like a painting, an art form, which you have to delicately paint at your canvas of life. You have to be an artist to love. Masculinity and femininity is not these strict gender roles, rather is the interchangeable expression of self within. It is whole of being rather than some parts that is required to be in love beyond the social construct of desire. To me, ft.Hasee depicts liberation in love, liberation from who we are supposed to be, the completeness of who we are with all of our story, or rather, changing dynamics of who we can become. The common portrayal of desire on screen is turned upside down to include more dimension and depth to both the person involved in the relationship. We see more humanly characteristics of both the person involved, which goes on to tell that both person of desire and person who desires are people with stories, histories, and complexities, rather than one dimension person whose stories revolve around being desire and desiring. For me, ft.Hasee is those missed masterpieces which can be a great cultural reset in portrayal of desire, romance, and romantic relationships. The fact that movie is still relevant after so many years speaks wonder. And for me, the movie has been core part of how I view dynamics of relationship. Phasee goes on to depict that one has to be best friends along with wholeness of self to experience and express love and desire. One where the people involved in the act of love extends beyond the performative beauty form to one with a beginning and an end.